I'm going to introduce you.
Okay.
We are here with the man himself, Mr. Alexander, Mr. Stephen Alexander. You have a lot of great things that are going on. And again, we're glad to be a part of that with AVC Media and then on to the XM Radio brand and also the Veterans of the Game. And so, one of the things that we have to dial into is Steve Alexander. Who is Steve Alexander and what's going on in his world?
Steve Alexander is a great young man at age 66 here in a few days, but I've always been a creative person. But in the midst of that, I spent 28 years in the U.S. Army. I'm actually a retired lieutenant colonel, combat veteran in Iraq, Purple Heart, and combat
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Well, hey, he's humble. He's humble. He's a Navy guy. He's a squid. He's a squid. We love squids. We love squids. But long story short, I did 20 years in the military. I retired in 2011. I always wanted to be a creative guy, so I started writing novels, and I wrote 23 of them. You can find a good bunch of them under Stephen Robert Alexander on BarnesandNoble.com. But then about 3 years ago, I decided I wanted to get into the movie business. I just wanted to write scripts and be creative. And the thing about scripts and books is you can get rid of all the bad guys that you ever knew in your life, and so it's a great therapy. Why spend 120? Why spend 129 bucks an hour when you can go, take out the bad guys in a book or in a great movie scene?
All right, now my friends that are doctors, don't get upset with Stephen here. His heart's great. We'll be talking to some of them on the Veterans of the Game. So the Veterans of the Game, just so you know, is not about per se just military veterans, but veterans will have Major League Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, tennis, you name it, actors, entertainers run the gamut, doctors, and professional people alike, as well as what they call everyday people with situations and circumstances. So one of the things I just wanted to clarify that the Veterans of the Game. And so we have launched, and we are here with Stephen Alexander, and he's going to talk about the story, the book, the movie. And let's just dive in there. I see you have.
All right, I've got the official, Galveston Roughnecks jersey right here, and this is the official logo of the Galveston Roughnecks. It all began a few years ago, and I've always been a football fan. As I played in high school. I played, sprained my ankles a lot, did all that. But I've always loved football, and I just watch every Saturday. I watch every Sunday, and I'm just all into it. Decided to write a fictional, started as a novel, but it turned into a movie script very quickly. But it's about a young man named Bowie Longwood. He went to college at a place called Texas Baptist. It's a TCS school. So he really wasn't up there with the Oklahomas and perhaps the Ohio States, but still at his level, he won a national championship.
Wow, that's commendable.
He was a great young man, and the pro scouts looked at him, but they said, this boy's got a problem. He got elongated throwing motion. He's got bad footwork, and he has a tendency to run whenever it gets a little bit chippy in the backfield. So he, in the midst of that, there's two leagues now. We transitioned into this area. The movie starts out back about, after the 2-minute montage of Bowie running for touchdowns, throwing for touchdowns, doing great things. Goes back to a 5-year time before where a bunch of men are sitting around a table, wealthy, affluent businessmen, and they want to start a second football league. So then we take a little bit of visualize the past of the old American Football League of the early 1960s, and they want to go play against the National Football League with its established teams. And then, about Super Bowl III, a guy named Joe Namath out of Alabama playing for the New York Jets kind of shocked the world. He guaranteed a victory.
Hall of Famer.
And my brother went to college with him at Alabama back in the early 60s. My dad was in the Air Force, and somewhere in the lost archives of our stuff, there's a picture of me about 4 feet tall, standing next to Joe Willie. We both had burr haircuts, flat tops. But in the midst of this, so we in this movie, we create a football league, and then we fast forward, and it's time for Bowie Longwood to get drafted. Now, in the big league, the professional football league, there's a guy named Max Runyon. He's the coach of the New York Castles. Well, he and the general manager and the general manager's son, they have a awkward as best working relationship. Imagine that in a pro football team.
Awkward.
Yeah, awkward.
That's a common theme.
Yeah. No,
in that industry. So.
now one thing I don't want to is I don't want to give away too much. So you just elbow me hard if I like cross that line where
All right, I want to jump in here,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alexander. So one of the key things that really got me excited about this movie and really doing the movie to the level of your expectations and being able to literally produce a product that everybody can go see. Now, at some levels, you describe definite details in which some people may or may not struggle with, but for the most part, I think that this movie transcends what really happens in that arena with negotiating contracts, with dealing with general managers, with dealing with coaches, dealing with their agents, etc.
Nightclubs at night, dealing with players who've been cast off by teams because their time in the 40s may be a tenth of a second slower than the new rookie they brought in, or the guy that just loves the game
Absolutely.
so much that he's going to say, "Hey, I'll pay for 1/10 what I used to play for 5 years ago. I just want to be on the field in the arena." And I have a lot of heroic figures like that. This new league, the Football League of America, they're ending up with a lot of the players that are deemed too old for the professional football league. So there's the element of, hey, you said I was done, but I'm not. I'm not done. I'm not done
Absolutely.
here. So
and one of the cool things I like about you is that
Thanks.
you love the game
I do.
of football. You love people. And if I might add, you are a part owner in one of the Las Vegas football teams.
I am. I'm honored and blessed, and I mean blessed with a capital B. I'm associated as a part owner with the Las Vegas Kings. They are a arena football team that started last year, had a great season, went 7-2, and beat the Texas Power. If you follow the football league.
Now you didn't upset my friends from Texas.
Oh, no,
the doctors, my friends from Texas. Who's next?
Oh, yeah.
We got them. So one of the big things that I like to talk about is the amount of passion over the last few months of us just getting excited about this movie, about us working together, about me being executive producer, as well as yourself.
I'm blessed.
And the amount of synergy of the other pro athletes that's going to be involved in this movie from start to finish. And also, we'll be doing a lot of casting, but at this point, I really want to focus on, we're in Vegas here.
Yes, we are.
Boy, it is hot.
117 in my car yesterday. I took a picture. It's on my Facebook page. And, can we talk about Facebook pages for a minute?
Are they paying us right now? Or?
No. Is that?
Okay. But Facebook, we want you. We need you for this movie. So I guess we did give them some kudos. But yeah, on your social media, how about that?
I love social media. I've got my own, page of the above mentioned, and I also have an Instagram page. And again, I'm old school, man. I'm still learning how to. If I need the help on my cell phone, ask my my 9-year-old granddaughter. She knows more about that thing than I'll ever know.
Absolutely. So how many grandkids do you have?
I have 6, and I have 1 on the way.
Wow.
I've got a couple of 19-year-olds, and I got 1 on the way. So do the math on that one there.
Oh, all right. So 6 grandkids. And, we talked a little bit about your background. Where's your home state, by the way?
My home state was, my dad was a World War II fighter pilot, went back to the farm in Pennsylvania in 46. 47, he went back into the Air Force for 33 years. So I've lived everywhere, but my home is Colorado Springs. That's where I finally set up roots.
Colorado Springs.
Right
all
on.
right.
Rocky Mountain High.
So one of the big things that when I look at either partnering with someone or consulting them on their project, whether it be a movie, whether it be they're building this ginormous restaurant, resort, or building a corporate entity and they're trying to take it to the next level. I always look at if they have 5 components. If they have those 5 components, I will then help them to develop beyond where they are and take them into the future. So what we want to do with this movie, and I'm going to have you give it a shout out here personally, but with this movie, what we plan on doing is we plan on taking this and transcending the way that you look at professional sports, as we're going to do on my radio station, the Veterans of the Game. And so one of the things that we'll do with you with this movie deal is that we will help you to transcend past having a script, having just a barrage of actors, and we're gonna literally zero in with the laser with the participants that we would like to have in this movie, and we're gonna get this thing produced on a larger scale. And excuse me, in doing so, one of the things that we always have to do is we have brand Mr. Stephen Robert Alexander, but let's give the name of your movie going forward.
It is called The Saga of Bowie Longwood. The Saga of Bowie Longwood.
Okay, so we heard it here first with me, Mr. Coffey. My tagline is grab your cup of coffee to have it with me, Mr. Coffey. But as you know, in radio and TV, they also refer to me as B
Nice.
Be Nice. And you know, this man here, he told me he liked that name. So I'm going to continue to use both of those as my taglines. So Be Nice is here with Mr. Stephen Alexander, and we're going to get this movie done. We look forward to you guys supporting it, getting behind it. And is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out? I know you have a few people that has been working with you,
Sure.
And working with us diligently to make this happen. And they'll see the other pro athletes and the other actors, A-list and B-list actors that's going to be involved.
Sure. One of the guys that was in the early days. In fact, some of the events in the script are right out of his playing days. 9 years with the Chargers, 4 with the Raiders. My buddy Lyndon Keith King went to high school with me.
Lyndon Keith King.
Yeah.
Your high school buddy,
Yeah,
huh?
number 52 of the Oakland Raiders. He's off
All right.
doing Raider alumni stuff this weekend. Another good dear friend out
I think
here.
it's a Hall of Fame weekend.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff
Absolutely.
going on. And another great guy, gentleman's name is Dean Jensen. His son Ryan plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the center, offensive center. And
we're giving everybody right to check.
You're right. Yeah,
He's giving everybody a shout out here.
That's right. And then a wonderful, wonderful guy, a guy named Daryl Clack, who went to high school in Colorado Springs, way back around the late 80s. Anyway, he was the state champion in track his sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Oh, wow. All around athlete.
And then he went to play for the Arizona State, and then he played for the Dallas Cowboys and a few other teams. So
Absolutely.
he's another great guy, Daryl Clack. Shout out to my buddy Chris Garr, another guy doing work with the veterans in film here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. It's amazing when you can pull in a team in order to get stuff done, because you need people around you and people that are forging ahead in a positive manner to get this project going, not moving, but going. And it's all about action. And we're going to take some action right now as I speak. But we wanted to let you know the saga of Bowie Long will continue, will move forward. And we're giving those people a shout out. All of you know me. I'm from the Chicagoland area. I've traveled across the country in radio and TV, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. And my next chapter is the Veterans of the Game, and it's going to cover every athlete, genre. I won't say genre because that would be on the music side, but every genre of music. Yes, so those entertainers, those singers, those songwriters, they'll be on the show. And this show is gonna be phenomenal. And it looks like we're also piloted for TV. We're shopping that right now. So simultaneously, while we're doing radio, we'll be doing also a TV series. And so just be on the lookout for the Veterans of the Game. We're on Facebook. Facebook, I think / the Veterans of the Game. We're building a little ahead of steam right now, but we'll be really hitting up on the Twitter and all the social media outlets. But we just wanted to close with the saga continues. Bowie Long, Stephen Alexander, me, Mr. Coffey, Be Nice, Coffee.
Good man.
Grab your cup of coffee to have it with me, Mr. Coffey. It's been a pleasure. We enjoyed
I'm
our
honored.
coffee
I'm
this
honored.
morning.
I'm honored, man.
All right, thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
And we look forward to the saga of Bowie Long continuing.
Great guy here.
Thank you so much.
Bowie Longwood loves you, buddy.
All right, we're out.
Out.
Are you gonna render it or are you gonna edit it?